for The Breakfast Show, the very best in sport.
6 minutes after 8 o'clock, current WBA World Heavyweight Champion of the World, David Haye, joins us. David, a very good morning.
Morning, David.
Good morning to you guys. Good morning.
I tell you what, it looked good with those headphones over the hat.
I know I had to do that.
He was giving you a stick about your hat on TV earlier on the Breakfast Show.
He was having a go at your T-shirt, and I thought, whoa, that is dangerous.
Hold on, I'm a bit closer to compare to you. Steady on. A little left jab might be coming my way.
David, brilliant. How are you, David?
I'm not bad. I was expecting, to announce a big fight today.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that didn't happen.
Bottle job.
Big time bottle job. For the last year or so, we've been trying to get this fight on with Vladimir Klitschko. We was in sort of negotiations.
But you agreed to everything.
We got
the corner, the name. What did he want?
We jumped through hoops. I think he was putting so many obstacles in front of me, and we kept saying, okay. He said, saying he wants to come out of the red corner. He wants to wear these types of gloves. He wants to come to the ring seconds. He wants Klitschko first on all the branding.
On the posters,
We said, whatever, okay, let's just get this fight made, because this is the fight that the world boxing want to see. Nobody's interested in any other fight. He said, I want 50-50, even though I bring probably 2 or 3 times as much money into the pot. He said he wants to go 50-50 on that.
Yeah.
Okay, you can have that. We agreed to all the terms just to make the fight happen, because I know I can knock him out.
Yeah.
So that's why we've agreed.
You wanted Alan Brazil and Ronnie Rani ringside.
We agreed to that. Ringside seats.
Vegas.
And,
It had to be.
Today it was all supposed to be announced, so we agreed all of the terms. It was in Germany as well.
Germany it was.
So I'll go over to Germany in his backyard, fight him there. Whatever. As long as there's a ring and a referee can count to 10, I was happy. And he then goes, I'm fighting someone else. After agreeing to all these things, that announced it, they had his deadlines.
Well, he's running there, he's bottled it.
Yeah, running. Exactly. And he says, okay, I'm fighting someone else, you fight someone else, and then we're going to fight on July 2nd. I'm like, I can't fight till May, June. So if I can't want to fight 2 weeks in a row.
Also, David, he was trying to blame Sky as well.
It's got nothing to do with Sky. He gave me 2 dates. He said, right, and you can either fight on April 30th or July 2nd. We can't do April 30th because Amir Khan's fighting on the 16th. Yeah. So you can't have 2 pay-per-views back-to-back. Sky don't do that. Everybody knows that fight's been penciled in a long time ago. Everybody knows Amir Khan's fighting that day. They knew that. So obviously April was never going to be a date for the fight. It was always going to be sort of May, June. And they said, okay, we can't do it in May or June because we've got no venues that agree with our TV networks. All we've got is July 2nd.
Yeah.
Okay, July 2nd. Let's do it on July 2nd. Sky agreed. No problem. We'd do it then. Let's just sign the fight and let's just make it happen. Then he goes, okay, I'm fighting someone else, you fight someone else, and then we do it on July 2nd. But I said, we can't do it on July 2nd because I've got to fight my mandatory challenger, Ruslan Shagayev. If I don't do that, I lose the title.
So what you're going to have to do, you have to wait a waiting game? I'm going to have to fight.
If the fight doesn't happen now, it never will happen.
Yeah, crazy.
Because with the boxing politics, it's so difficult to get everybody's managers, promoters, television networks, venues to agree on one specific date where everybody's happy. Very, very rarely. It took like Lennox Lewis and Mike Tyson 10 years for them to finally get it where everybody was happy. Now we've got to a situation where everybody can fight that everyone can finally happen on a certain date. And they said, no, he's going to fight someone else instead before that.
And it's fair, David, it's fair to say you don't want to hang about for another 10 years, do you? You've got other things you want to go on in your life.
I'm retiring. I've said it from when I turned pro. I'm going to box for 20 years. 31, I'm retired. I'm not going to fight until my 31st year. That's always been my deadline. They've known that deadline. So I assume they thought, okay, seeing that I'm going to retire in October, let's just make the fight happen. Seeing there's no other reason why it shouldn't happen. He said, I'm going to be out of the ring for too long. He's had these breaks in his career before. It's not a big deal. Boxers, you don't box twice a week. You box twice a year, if that. He's boxed like once a year in 2009. So he's used to having breaks between fights. I'm used to having breaks between fights. It's not a big deal. That's what heavyweight boxing is about. It gives a nice long build-up. Gets the promotion going real well. The longer the build-up, the more people are going to watch the fight because the more people are going to talk about it. So there's no other reason why the fight can happen other than he doesn't want to get knocked out.
Yeah. Do you know what? I just looked back. I was there that night in the O2 when you knocked out Macaronelli.
Yeah.
I didn't realise it was just 5 fights ago.
Yeah, it wasn't that. Yeah, it's great. It wasn't that long ago. That fight, that was another fight that had to happen. I went over to Paris to fight Jean-Marc Mormec, where I won my titles to WBC, WBA, and Ring Magazine. I won the titles there on foreign soil. Same thing. I did the same thing against Nikolai Valiev. I went over to Germany to beat the big 7'2" giant. So I'm used to travelling. I didn't mind going to Germany to fight him.
Yeah.
He's never done that before. We said, come and fight in England. We'll get a stadium in May or June. No, I can't go to England because I need a German doctor. We're like, okay, then give us your doctor's name. We'll try and get him affiliated with the British Boxing Board of Control. And we're not going to give you his name. So how can you expect to go and fight in England if you don't want to let us?
Ridiculous.
Let your
I remember that great fight. Talking about fighting in England at QPR. Do you remember McGuigan against Pedrosa?
Yeah,
what a fight that was!
A tremendous fight, great fight. And that's what I wanted. I wanted the big super fight. And it's unfortunate that the Klitschkos are cowards.
What was the O2 like to fight at?
It was great. It was a great arena.
It was the early hours of the morning, if I remember.
It was about 2 a.m. And
you could have sorted the traffic out for us.
Traffic? I ended up walking over. I ended up walking over Tower Bridge from the O2.
No way.
Yes.
They shut the tunnel because everyone started walking through the tunnel. Yeah, it was a bit of a nightmare. But I think they've sorted all that out now. I don't think they anticipated the volume of people turning up.
So we saw you earlier on the telly. So it was up early. A bit of porridge earlier, was it?
Yeah, a bit of porridge. Had some Quakers. I'm doing this thing with Quaker oats. So simple. Going up and down the country. Rewarding. People who are great in their community. For instance, I went to a guy, Ifran. He's a guy who's built a boxing gym in his back garden.
Just a guy out Westway, isn't it?
Yeah, he built a little gym in his back garden. So all the local kids go there.
Brilliant.
And they sort of have a training session of boxing. He teaches them and stuff. And so what we did, we heard about this. We went down there. We kitted out his whole gym, a new ring, new bags, new mirrors. Really, put all the equipment in there. And anyone could nominate. If you know there's someone out there that you feel deserves to get recognised, you can go to facebook.com/Quakers thank you and nominate someone there.
Brilliant. Now that's with an S, is it, or is it just Quaker thank you?
Quakers.
Okay. Yeah. Quakers thank you on Facebook.
David, obviously you've got masses of fans out there. If Klitschko was to say, right, next March, in the book, contract, would you postpone your retirement?
If it doesn't happen now, it never will happen.
You wouldn't postpone? If he said next March, in the book, in the diary, signed up.
I've got other stuff to do.
Be tempting though, wouldn't it?
No, it wouldn't be. If he says next March, he'll get an injury and the fight won't happen.
What about his brother then? What about his brother?
His brother's got another fight with a guy called Lanny Son, unless he's got his mandatory guy to get out of the way. But if the fight doesn't, there was no reason for the fight not to happen. So if it doesn't happen now, it's just a clear indication that.
And he's literally got a few hours or days to sort it out.
He can be sorted out. We're talking about July 2nd.
Yeah,
it's not round the corner. He's got time to just say to I'm not fighting Derek Chisora. Derek Chisora would have had to have signed a contract, the Klitschko contract. I've seen these Klitschko contracts. Derek Chisora will have no rights whatsoever. Klitschko can cancel it any time he wants. Yeah. So at any stage he can cancel it and just make the fight that the world public want to see. I've had my defining fights. I fought the 7'2" giant. I was the undisputed cruiserweight. I fought the best in the world. He can't claim the same. If I retire and he doesn't fight me, people forever say to him, "Why didn't you fight David?" And he'll have to say, "Oh, because I fought." The British champion is dead.
So who's going to make this happen? Somebody's got to make this happen.
It's down to him. I'm ready to sign for the fight today. We were supposed to announce the fight today. It was all supposed to be announced. The biggest
fight. Can I
just
ring him up? Get his mobile and say what's going on?
Listen, he was saying he was putting so many obstacles in front of me. At one stage, I actually said to Adam, I don't actually think he wants to fight. Some of the stuff he was coming with, if I don't come to the ring second, the fight's not happening. Thinking, oh, come on. I thought, Sindo, we're both champions. I thought 50-50. Yeah. We get 50-50 money. Toss a coin. Whoever goes first.
Let's go for it.
Nah, he's running.
No. I have to come second.
He's running.
Then I thought, okay, if that's what you really want to do that way, you come to ring second. You come from the blue, the red corner. You do these things. So I was like, as long as we got in the ring, but that was not enough. Me bending to all his demands.
Just talking a little bit of boxing, not looking back, but Audley Harrison should retire now.
If I was him, I would. Everybody's different. Maybe he doesn't feel he's achieved what he set out to do.
Have you spoke to him since the fight?
I bumped into him in Vegas. We didn't talk boxing. But he was out there.
You didn't bump into him too hard, did you?
No, not too hard. It was a gentle bumping. He was in a poker tournament out there, and literally just crossed paths in the casino. Yeah, I said, he was cool. I think he was right. Asked how I was, and
he got a lot of stick about should he got paid for his performance.
I know, yeah, he got paid for it, so there's no real problem there.
Did he deserve that?
The beating that he took a shellacking, so
he deserved the money.
Yeah, he got $1.5 million worth of beating. That's
what about talking about Vegas, David? Is there no young American heavies coming through?
Unfortunately, he's not.
That's what you want, isn't it? Really?
Exactly. When I was growing up, you had Mike Tyson come through, Holyfield, Riddick, but you had all these big American icons.
Shannon Briggs, looked as if he could do something.
Yeah, these big guys, but unfortunately, there's nobody. Most of the big guys are doing NFL or basketball, or all the guys are doing something different. Maybe there's not enough money in boxing for them. They can sit on a bench now for 10 million a year. Yeah. They're trying to earn 10 million in boxing. You got to have a lot of fights.
Well, I don't know.
Sometimes.
David, what about is adverts now you're getting involved in, or because you've spoken well about, you've also spoken about acting and stuff.
Yeah.
How's that progressing?
Yeah, definitely. It's one thing I wanted to do. I wanted to sort of replicate my success in the acting field as I have done in the sporting. You know, I wanted to go to Hollywood and become a successful actor. You know, it's something I've always wanted to do. And I'm looking forward to that. So once I retire from boxing in October, that's my next goal. You know,
who's your final fight going to be against? Because a lot of TalkSport, you know, fans of yours out there.
I don't know. That's the unfortunate thing. You know, other than fighting Klitschko, there's no real huge fight out there. Maybe Thomas Adamek. You know, he's a good Polish fighter.
Is it beat one and then beat the other? Is that the dream?
That was always the plan. But if he goes ahead with this other fight, that won't happen. So, you know, I can retire head held high knowing I did everything humanly possible to make the fight happen. But if it doesn't happen, people can say to me in the future, why didn't you fight him? Because you didn't want to fight me. We had the fight arranged for the money to get all of the
logistics of it,
to get a stadium, to get everyone's TV network happy, everyone's contract. I know he's in contract. I'm in contract. I've actually changed the current contract I was in. I got a contract with a company called Sauer, a German promoter. They actually renegotiated my contracts just so I could give 50% of the money to Vladimir. So I actually changed my contract just to suit him, just to get this one fight happening. And he said no at the end of it.
Funny enough, I don't know much about this guy here. This David Price, he's the same. Anyone want to fight? He's looking for someone to fight. You know, it says David Haye's heir here. He won the Commonwealth title, didn't he?
Very, very good fighter, David Price. Someone I used to actually promote. You know, I was actually going to use David Price as one of my chief sparring partners if this fight with Klitschko would have got ahead. Guy from Liverpool, guy coming through. You know, and he's like 6'8". He's a very big guy. Nobody really wants to fight him. He's got a great jab. And you know, once I retire in October, he's definitely someone the British public.
Would you ever think about promoting?
Yeah, I do promote. You know, I've got a young guy called George Groves. We're looking at him fighting James DeGale. I think it's a March at some stage. So that'd be a tremendous fight. If we can get that fight signed, sealed, that'd be a huge fight for the. That'd be like the British and Commonwealth sort of unification fight. So yeah, definitely promoting fights is something I've done already, and it'll be something I look to do in the future.
David, brilliant. Listen, we wish you well, and we all hope we get this fight. You know, the guy's clearly running scared.
Hopefully, sort of public
if he changes his mind, then great, bingo, and then you get back
What's
in the
the minimum
training.
A notice he can give you? He said about his contract. He can cancel his contract any time. Could he like give you 8 weeks notice? I mean,
it depends. It depends who else I'm fighting.
That's what I mean.
If I don't fight him now, I've then got to schedule another fighting. I have to defend.
But if he came along,
once you commit to that,
once I've committed, that might be in June. So if the fight happens in June, then you know.
But you could terminate that fight.
I can't terminate that fight.
Oh,
no.
Can you not?
Once I sign the fight, he can terminate the fight. I can't. You know, it's a mandatory challenger. I'll have to get special conditions from the WBA to say I don't have to fight my mandatory challenger, and I have very rarely do they give circumstances to do that. But a unification fight with Klitschko, they said that.
And what's the minimum amount of notice that would require?
Probably about 4 months. I'd say about 4 months.
Is it?
It takes to promote and get a fight done correctly. One of these mega fights.
Fingers crossed. Wish you all the best. Brilliant. WA World Heavyweight Champion David Haye live in the studio there. Klitschko's are running 20 after 8.